Welcome to the land of the Golden Pharaohs and the legendary Valley of the Kings. Welcome to Old Cairo, where Jesus Christ found refuge, and Mount Sinai, where Moses received the Ten Commandments. Welcome to our beautiful Red Sea resorts and the romance of the Nile. Welcome to the holiday of a lifetime and 7,000 years of astonishing history. Egypt, welcome to our 7th millennium.
Golf has been played in Egypt in the shadow of the pyramids since Queen Victoria's time. For a long time, there was only 3 golf courses in Egypt, 2 in Cairo and 1 in Alexandria. Today, there are 12 operating golf courses in Egypt, and many others will be operating in the very near future. Egypt has a perfect climate for the game all year round. It also has so much more to offer than just golf. In Cairo, the city of the 1,000 minarets, the capital of Egypt and the Middle East, besides having new championship golf courses, it has so much more to offer. Unique Islamic architecture, old and modern markets, and the richest Egyptian museum in the world. After sunset, there is so much to do in Cairo's restaurants, theaters, and nightclubs. In Cairo, there are presently 2 operating golf courses. Only 20 minutes drive from Cairo's International Airport, there is a 5-stars deluxe resort, features 27 holes of championship golf courses, practice facilities, and a golf academy. The golf course is designed by EGYPT01. The golf course is set amidst 400 acres of green rolling hills. The 6,780 yards par 72 course has 5 tee positions to suit all standards. The signature hole, the par 5, 535 yards 15th, affords a breathtaking view from the high elevated tee. On the outskirts of Cairo's elite district of Heliopolis, there is a new golf course. It is designed by Peter Harradine, covering 180 acres of greenery. This flat but interesting 18 holes par 72, 7,000 yards international course has 45 lakes with streams, waterfalls and fountains. It is a part of a growing complex that will incorporate a 5-stars hotel plus villas. Visitors to Cairo can now experience a new level of hospitality and golf. Across the Nile from the city of Cairo lies Giza, the home of the only remaining wonder of the ancient world, the pyramids and the Sphinx. Literally, at the foot of Cheops Pyramid lies a small but interesting golf course. Although it is only a par 68 of 5,265 yards, it is a fascinating course. It has 18 holes, but only 9 fairways, yet it still makes an interesting challenge. The golf course is a part of one of Egypt's oldest and classiest hotels. Few kilometers from the Giza pyramids lies a newly opened golf course. This Carl Lytton designed 18-hole, 7,205 yards course has 5 sets of tees to cater for all types of golfers. This golf course boasts one of the longest par 5s in Egypt, 570 yards. Both experienced and inexperienced golfers will find it a good test. The golf course will eventually be a part of one of the biggest business and leisure complexes in the Middle East. Only 35 minutes from downtown Cairo lies a man-made oasis on Cairo-Alexandria Desert Road. The oasis has an 18 holes, par 72 golf course and a 9 holes par 36 course. The beautiful layout has 15 strategically placed lagoons with a total of 140 pure white sand bunkers. The clubhouse features a fully stocked pro shop, elegant outdoors and indoors restaurants and a swimming pool. Golfers will have a great feeling of tranquility while playing due to the far distance from the hustle and bustle of the city. For those golfers who love the sun and the sea, there are 2 golf courses north and south of the city of Hurghada on the Red Sea coast, only 1 hour flight from Cairo. The first golf course designed by Gene Bates is par 72, 6,800 yards, 18 holes course. This golf course is a part of a lavish recreational complex comprising 5-star hotels, diving and shopping centers and residential villas. The second golf course is designed by Gary Player Group. It lies at Summer Bay, 40 kilometers south of Hurghada. At this 18 holes par 72, 7,084 yards course, 4 of the holes run directly along the Red Sea coast, and a series of landscape lagoons and flowing streams mean water hazards play an integral part of the course. Holes 9 and 18 have spectacular cascading water. The rolling sand hills, elevated greens, wide fairways and strategically positioned bunkers create a test for any golfer. Next to the golf course, there is and will be many 5-star hotels and diving centers. Sinai has become famous throughout the world for its magical sea and mystical desert mountains. The rich coral reefs provide some of the most exquisite diving sites on the planet. A visit to St. Catherine's Monastery and Mount Sinai, where Moses received the 10 Commandments, is a unique experience to this part of the world. At Sharm el-Sheikh, an 18-hole par 72, 6,012 meters championship golf course has introduced a new dimension to this fantastic destination. The Bermuda Grass Course has 18 lakes, which attracts a variety of exotic birds. The luxury 5-star hotels located next to the golf course has a fantastic water park and an exotic South Seas beach, a unique destination that offers something to the whole family. There is no better way of combining sightseeing tour of the temples and tombs of ancient Egypt and a golfing holiday than to go to Luxor, the ancient capital of pharaonic Egypt. At Luxor, there is an 18-hole par 72, 6,158 meters championship course designed by Arthur Davis. Set amidst the most picturesque desert scenery in Egypt, with the mountains to the east and the west bank on the opposite direction. The first 9 holes have wide rolling fairways with small protected greens, whereas the back 9 have more target green style holes with tight fairways. There are a choice of 4 tee decks to suit all caliber of golfers. From Luxor, you can top your golfing holiday with a cruise on the Nile to see the wonders of Upper Egypt in comfort and style. From the sun deck, you will watch the life on the banks of the Nile, a peaceful life that has not changed for thousands of years. So where else in the whole world you can combine your golfing holiday in a good climate all year round with 5,000 years of history, Eastern and Western entertainment, desert safari, underwater adventure, and a cruise on the Nile. There is only one place on earth that offers all of them together. It is only Egypt. Before anything was, there was noon, the deep, dark waters at the beginning of time. Out of this nothingness emerged Ra, self-formed by his own word. And seeing nothing, Ra decided upon creation. From his mouth sprang forth Shu, god of space. Ra sent him to separate the heavens, which he called Nut, from Geb, which was the earth. Ra caused a great river to flow through the dry land, making it fit for a race of men to prosper. And thus began the mighty civilization that was Egypt. The gate to Egypt is Cairo, the city of 1,000 minarets, a city lying at the banks of the Nile, a thriving city of more than 13 million people. Cairo origin dates back to Memphis, Egypt's first capital 5,000 years ago. Cairo has many pharaonic monuments at Memphis and Saqqara. We also find in Cairo the most celebrated monuments of the world, the Giza pyramids and the Sphinx. Medieval Cairo is very rich with the world's most beautiful Islamic buildings. You can also find everything you desire in Cairo. The old markets, which are full of the aroma of spices and incense. which are full of the aroma of French perfumes. Cairo is the beacon of art in the Middle East. It has many art galleries and museums. Topping them all, the Egyptian Museum, where King Tutankhamun's treasures are displayed. All year round, Cairo's theaters display diversified Egyptian and Western arts. Cairo also abounds with magnificent hotels. When the night falls, Cairo's lights reflect on the Nile, inviting you to its restaurants and nightclubs. Cairo will always remain the city of 1,001 nights. Because Cairo lies in the crossroads of 3 continents, it became an ideal location for holding conferences and conventions. And now, it has the largest convention center in the Middle East. Cairo International Convention Center. The center contains many halls with a capacity for 4,000 conferees. The center is also equipped with simultaneous interpretation facilities of up to 8 languages, as well as facilities for transmission via satellites. The center contains 13,000 square meters of covered exhibition halls and 30,000 square meters for outdoor exhibition. Southward, in the governorates of Minya and Sohag, there are many interesting pharaonic monuments. Then we come to Thebes, the city of the 100 gates.
The Arabs called it Luxor, which means the palaces, when they found in it huge temples that they have never seen before. Luxor is the world's largest outdoors museum. It contains 1/3 of the ancient world's monuments. Ramses II left his fingerprints everywhere in Luxor. In front of the Luxor temple, he erected 2 obelisks, of which only one still remains. On the temple's pylon, he recorded his military victories. The Karnak temple is the largest religious complex in the world. In its glorious days, it contained 20 temples, chapels, and ceremonial halls. Ramses II completed the Hypostyle Hall in the Karnak temple, a petrified forest of 143 columns. Some of them are 20 meters high. And above Karnak, above Luxor, the obelisks stand high to witness the glory of ancient Egypt. Across the Nile, on the western bank of Thebes, the sun sets every evening behind the Valley of the Kings. Over there, we find in the tombs of the kings, queens, and nobles, colorful wall paintings showing the other world, the world of eternal life. The ancient Egyptians built many temples along the Nile Valley. The best way to visit these temples is to take a Nile cruise between Luxor and Aswan. There are over 200 cruisers to choose from. Cruisers are elegant and spacious. On the sun deck, you will enjoy the warm sun of Upper Egypt and watch the life on the banks of the Nile. You will visit the temple of Hathor in Dindara, goddess of love and joy. The temple of the falcon god Horus at Edfu is still very well preserved. The temple of Komombo overlooks the Nile. It was built for the two gods, Sobek and Horaris. Finally, we come to Aswan, the queen of winter resorts, where the Nile flows between green islands and granite cataracts. South of Aswan, on an island in the Nile, we find the temple of Philae, built for goddess Isis. The worship of Isis reached Europe. The temple was still open for worship until the year 565 AD. Kilometers south of Aswan in the land of Nubia, there are the temples of Abu Simbel. The whole world contributed to save these temples from the rising waters of the Nile after building the high dam. The temples were cut and then relocated. Abu Simbel ends our trip in the valley of the Nile. Let us go now to see another face of Egypt. Egypt, the sun and the sea. Sinai, land of the mountains and the sea. Sinai is a virgin land that has not been spoiled by the ravages of the modern world. There we find many elegant resorts scattered along the Gulf of Aqaba. On the north, we find the town of Taba, Egypt's eastern gate. Eight kilometers south of Taba, on a small island, lies the fort of Saladin, built in the 12th century AD. In the town of Nuweiba, there are many fine hotels and endless sandy beaches. On a wide bay, surrounded by high mountains, lies Dahab, the youth's town. Southmost of the bay lies the city of Sharm el-Sheikh, where everything is beautiful, the weather, the hotels, and the atmosphere. Ras Mohammed Wildlife Reserve lies south of Sharm el-Sheikh. It is world famous for its clear waters and colorful marine life. It is really the diver's heaven. When the sun sets behind the high mountains of Sinai, nightlife starts at Sharm el-Sheikh. Along the beach, there are many restaurants, shops and nightclubs. Feel free to choose what you like. Away from the beaches, the mountains and valleys of Sinai are there for you to discover it. Safari trips are a fantastic experience for adventure seekers. St. Catherine's Monastery lies in the heart of Sinai. It is an important landmark in Sinai. Emperor Justinian ordered to build the monastery in the 6th century AD. A visit to the monastery will add a spiritual experience to the visitors of Sinai, land of the mountains and the sea. On the western coast of the Red Sea lies the city of Hurghada, a unique city offering endless sandy beaches. Along the coast, fine hotels are scattered to welcome the visitors. Many national and international fishing contests are held annually in Hurghada. The most beautiful thing in the Red Sea is what is in and under the Red Sea itself. In Sinai, Ras Mohammed is diver's heaven. In Hurghada, the many coral islands are another diver's heaven. All resorts in Sinai and Hurghada are fully equipped with the latest diving gear and staffed by expert instructors. Diving excursions provide a wonderful experience to discover the fascinating wonderland beneath the waves. Wherever you go in Egypt, you will always find luxurious hotels and new friends to take good care of you. and make your vacation an unforgettable experience that you want to repeat over and over again. So if you want to see where history began and civilization was born, or just want to relax and get a suntan at Christmas, Egypt has it all. We have the pyramids and countless minarets. We have 5,000 years of history. We have the sea and the ever-shining sun, and the river of mystery and magic, the timeless Nile.
The Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. This church was built in the place where Christ was born. Isa, Jesus, was born in a small barn in Bethlehem. The Virgin Mary received him with the love that was due to him who would be a symbol of love and purity. The angel appeared to Joseph in a dream and said to him, "Take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt." Egypt was one of the first countries in the world and one of the earliest civilizations. It sought God before the birth of religion. God chose it to be the holy place. The Holy Family crossed the Sinai Desert. It was an arduous trip in which they were guided only by the stars and the revelation of the heavens to the pure in heart. The first place in which the Holy Family sought shelter was on the banks of the Nile River, in what is known now as Old Cairo. They kept on traveling through the land of civilization. Ain Shams is the city of the sun that is mentioned in the Bible, and which the ancient Egyptians in pharaonic times called the city Un. The holy tree in the shade of which the Virgin Mary and the child Jesus rested. The Holy Family returned to Old Cairo in search of a safe haven. In this cave, the Virgin Mary, the child Jesus, and Joseph the carpenter hid for some time. The Holy Family continued its arduous voyage day and night, through summer and winter, in the desert and between the mountains. In Wadi al-Natun, the child said to his mother, "Many monks and hermits will live in this desert." The Lord Jesus blessed the four corners of the valley, and it is one of the best known places for worship in Egypt. In their blessed footsteps, the Church of the Virgin was carved in rock. The last place they reached was Deir al-Muharraq. Al-Muharraq Monastery in Asyut in Upper Egypt. The old church in Al-Muharraq Monastery is the only church in Egypt, and indeed in the whole world, which was founded by the Lord Jesus, and he sprinkled holy water in its four corners. After Herod's death, the angel appeared to Joseph and commanded him, "Take the boy and his mother and return to Palestine."
wish I was in the land of the pharaohs. I wish I was in Egypt.
The Greek historian Herodotus wrote, "Egypt is the gift of the Nile. Without it, the country would have been a barren desert, a red land. But the Nile gave life to the red land and covered it with a rich layer of black silt, which turned it into a unique, enormous oasis, a garden in the wilderness. And on the banks of the Nile in Egypt, history began and civilization was born. Here sailed Akhenaten, Nefertiti, King Tut, Ramses II, Alexander the Great, Caesar, Antony and Cleopatra. Today you can sail the same path like those ancient kings and queens aboard one of 300 luxurious Nile cruisers that give you the opportunity to experience the timeless Nile and see the wonders of Upper Egypt in comfort and style. All Nile cruisers are fully air-conditioned, containing spacious cabins and suites. Fancy lounges and bars, elegant restaurants, gift shops, cool swimming pools on the sun deck where you can quench your thirst with a cold drink and watch the river flow by. The lifetime cruise is between Luxor, the city of the 100 gates, and Aswan, the queen of winter resorts. A typical day on the cruise starts with breakfast. Then you will go sightseeing. In Luxor, you will visit the Karnak Temple, the largest religious complex ever built in the history of man. Luxor Temple, where Ramses the Great recorded his military campaigns on the walls. On the west bank of Luxor, you will visit the Valley of the Kings, the temple of Queen Hatshepsut, the temples of Ramses II, Ramses III, and the Colossi of Memnon. When you return from sightseeing, delicious lunch will be served. Then there is plenty of time to relax on the sun deck and watch the life on the banks of the Nile. Some itineraries include visiting the temple of Hathor, goddess of love and joy, in the city of Dendera, 60 kilometers north of Luxor. Sailing south of Luxor,
The first stop will be at the city of Esna to visit the temple of the potter god Khnum. Then to the city of Edfu to visit the temple of god Horus, the world's best preserved ancient temple. On to the city of Komombo to visit the jewel temple of the gods Subek and Haruris. And in every city, you will get the chance to go through the markets and buy souvenirs from the local handcrafts. Just before sunset time, tea is served on the sun deck every afternoon. The final destination is the city of Aswan. Aswan's fertile island gardens are a green dream come true. A sailboat trip will take you to the Plants Island. A motorboat trip will take you to the ancient island shrines of Fayalai. A half-an-hour flight from Aswan will take you to the temples of Abu Simbel. Fancy dinners are served nightly, either in the restaurant or on the sun deck under the bright stars of Upper Egypt. One of the highlights of the cruise is the costume party, where you can relive your dreams as a pharaoh, a sheikh, Nefertiti, Cleopatra, or Scheherazade, and the party goes on until the early hours of the day. Come and see Upper Egypt, the world's largest outdoors museum, where summer rules all year round and the winds are cool and dry. We look forward to welcoming you aboard one of Upper Egypt's Nile cruisers. It is a dream that we promise you will come true.
You have come to the most fabulous and celebrated place in the world.